G'day everyone, Gareth here from Fraser Coast Food Forest. I thought it'd be about time to do a garden tour update. Been a few changes, a few things added, so I thought I'd show you around. I apologise that I haven't been doing many videos. I've just been super busy. So I'll turn you around. I'll just show you what's been done in the garden, what I've added and what is going to happen. Right. The first thing, you can see how busy I've been. I've had all this area cleaned out. A lot of you remember this was just full of these palm trees here. Had them all taken out, all the undergrowth's been taken out. And I've been landscaped, or trying to landscape. Unfortunately we had weekend just gone. We had I think the Saturday was about 60 or 70 mil of rain in 36 hours. So I didn't get much done over the weekend, but I thought I'd just take you for a quick garden tour coming into the end of October, and we'll start with the veggies. I think it's a good place to start. I think already been harvesting lots and lots of vegetables, cabbage, broccoli, but I'll show you, and things that I've taken out due to really no productivity at all. We'll just come through here and I'll show you. We'll start over this side. Snow peas, we've been harvesting lots of snow peas. These have been absolutely beautiful. Look at these. Literally just eat this. Super sweet. There's another good one at the back here. I'll grab this one. There we go, look at this. Beautiful. I love snow peas. Whole family do, so it's a good one to grow. Behind this we've got some broccoli. Nice heads of broccoli here. This one's been attacked by rats or possums, and he's had another good whack at it last night. Almost eaten half of that broccoli, which is a shame. Over here we've got the cabbage. Starting to really, that's solid. Very solid cabbage that is. Looking forward to that one. I don't think we've tried that one yet. I've tried the other ones I'm growing. Sunflowers are all doing really well now. We've got this, I'm sorry, I can't remember the varieties, but this one's amazing because you've got this beautiful big sunflower here, but it will have multiple flowers all the way down the stem, look. And then you've got your standard ones that most people are used to. Beautiful. Another one there, another one here, a couple more here, a couple more there, a couple at the back there. So yes, we might have to make this like a two-part video as well, because there's a lot to show you. I'm getting some carrots. I'm harvesting the carrots just as I go. I dig in here and I look for like a nice thick stem. We'll just go this one here. It's not the thickest, but oh, look at that. Oh, that's a beautiful carrot. Look at that. Oh yeah, I'm going to clean that up. We're going to have a little taste test here as well. I love carrots straight out of the garden. That's amazing. Quite sweet actually for this time of year. Yum. Alright, get into it. Alright. Excuse me while I'm still eating. Carrot, and then we've got the celery here. Going along really well. Looking really healthy. And then in amongst here we got some spinach going into flower. Hopefully collect some seeds from that. Got some capsicum growing in here. And we have a tomato here. Developing some tomatoes here now. And I'm continually pruning the tomatoes of these. We take these middle ones out. So I just keep one stem. And I've pruned all the branches up to that first set of tomatoes growing here. And then we'll have a second one there, third one there, and a fourth one just here. And of course, it's going to continue growing up as well. We might as well take you over to the tomatoes. So I've got what I call a tomato hedge. There's 4 different types of tomatoes growing here. We've already got some beautiful tomatoes here, again pruned all the way up to that very first set of tomatoes. All of them I've done the same, so pruned it all the way up to this first set of tomatoes here. And again, any of those middle growths like this in between the branches, another one here, I just come out and pinch off, and then you'll sometimes get new growth. You can see a new growth coming out of the bottom of these ones. So this is well, there's your variety here. And if we come along here, you can see these little suckers coming out just under the mulch level here. I just pull them off. It's even started rooting. Look, you could actually plant that. But I'm not going to because I've got lots and lots of tomatoes growing already. Another one you could actually, that doesn't have any roots, but you could actually still put that into a potting mix or a seed raising mix, and you still grow a tomato off that. What have we got here? These ones are the mini Amish, an elongated tomato, going along really nicely. Really nice. I've actually pruned the tips or the branches of these leaves that were hanging down too low and touching the ground. And here we go, we've got some more growth at the base here, so we'll just rip that one off. So that one's the mini Amish tomato, and then we come along a little bit further here and we have the, I think it's called the June Flame, which is not a very big tomato. But again, trimmed all the way up to that first. There's another branch coming out of the side here, in between the trunk and a leaf branch. Pull it out. When we get to the end here, we've got the Beams Yellow, which you can see that's pretty much the shape you're going to get when they're ripe. And they're a yellow variety tomato. There's another one there, another one there, and another one there. So there should be 5 of each. One is only 4 because I damaged one when I was trying to plant them. So the other Beams Yellows are these varieties that I've just got just randomly in the garden beds here. When we harvested some lettuce, there was a gap. I chucked one in here, chucked one in here, and then I chucked another one over here. Alright, let's go along. There's not much in this one. There's a capsicum down here. I've just put some seeds in here yesterday, just another 5. Oh, not yesterday. Would have been, wasn't yesterday, when was it? Thursday, I think it was. In here's already one actually just poking its head through there. These were done about 3 weeks before. And then these ones are probably a few weeks from being ready. We've already had the flower drop all its pollen. Hopefully it's pollinated this corn good enough. They're looking a bit thin. I'm hoping they're going to swell up in the next few weeks. We've covered this bed here. We come over to this bed and I had some beans growing in here on both sides, 2 different varieties, which I took out. They were going backwards, and I thought, you know what, let's get them out and let's put something else in here. So what I've done is I bought a variety of pumpkin. I think I put 4 seeds on each side, and we're going to grow it over this. It only produces pumpkins of about 1.5 kilos, so that will go over this. And then we've got some baby cos left and some spinach left, sort of coming to the end of these, but I have replanted some more seeds in here. A small row of spinach just here, and then we've got a couple more heads of broccoli forming. One there, should be another one in here somewhere. Oh, we've harvested that one, you can see. A couple more in there. Sunflower. And then over here we've got some, I think I've planted the Great Lakes lettuce in there. And then we've got the baby cos in there. For those that you don't remember, well, you know what the cos is, but the Great Lakes is the variety McDonald's use in their hamburgers. It's actually got a really good shelf life compared to a lot of the other varieties. The onions are coming along. We're getting some good bulbs growing here now. And that's your red onion, and then you've got your brown onion here, which is forming nicely as well. And then we've got another chilli hiding in the back here. This is the baby cos here, which I'm going to grow out and collect some seeds off these ones here. Caterpillar feeding away. So yeah, a couple of capsicum. This is the pickling cucumber. I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest. The cucumbers aren't producing as many as I thought. Some are getting way too big. That's kind of the size you want to pick them at to pickle. You don't want them much bigger than that. It's not producing many. There's another beautiful one there, but you know, that one's too big. The one down there is too big. I just take them off, and you can see some of them get way too big. Might even keep that one for its seeds. And then this particular one here is called a double yield. The cucumbers, I don't think they taste that good, to be honest. When you compare it to a Lebanese, they're not that good. So and double yield, I thought we'd get a lot of cucumbers out of it, but as you can see, it hasn't grown anywhere near as much as the gherkins, and even less cucumbers, which are all pretty much growing this sort of deformed type shape. So this one might get pulled out, and I've ordered some Lebanese cucumber seeds, which will hopefully be here next week, and I'll replace that one, maybe even that one, but we'll see how we go. Okay, we'll come over to this one, and we got some more carrots in here, along with the sunflower in the middle. And then we got some eggplant here, which is coming along really well. I think this one's a boy. Not sure. What do you reckon? And then we got these little tiny white varieties here, which I'll harvest a couple of these soon and hide it in some meal so the kids don't know. Moving along, a couple more bits of broccoli in here. 1, 2. The tomato I showed you before. We got the capsicum here, which is it's about as big as this capsicum plant will grow, but it's got some beautiful capsicums on it. They'll go yellow. And then if we move around here, we've got the watermelon, which is the baby sugar. It's just a small round watermelon. Growing really well now. It's starting to heat up. We're going to be, I think this week we're getting into the high 20s, low 30s, and the watermelon's going to love that. And same with the rock melon or the cantaloupe. A bit further behind, but lots of flowers. Hopefully, once it heats up, it'll catch up a bit more. Strawberries. We had the problem with the fruit fly. We still may be having problems with the fruit fly, but I have bought some traps, and I'll show you them on the way through. Let's go over to the last garden bed. That's a good sign when you have little mushrooms growing in your soil. That means there's mycelium growing in here already, and there's nice microbes and stuff in there. We've got a cabbage here which is starting to grow out. Another one there with a grasshopper eating it. That variety is called a sugar sweet, and they are sweet. They're a beautiful cabbage. We've already had it in a coleslaw, chow mein, and it was amazing. We did have the red cabbages, which I'm pretty sure I pulled out of there. And although delicious in a coleslaw, when we cooked it up, they actually ended up going a little bit bitter. So we, I probably won't grow those ones again. I'm just going to go up here, and I heard the door, and that generally means the dog. Alright, let's get back into this. Camera overheated again. What I've done is change some settings. Maybe that'll prolong the time it takes to turn off. It's a bit frustrating. I've actually been on the phone to GoPro, and they told me to do some stuff. We'll see how we go anyway. I think we were over at the broccoli here, and we're talking about the cantaloupe or rock melon, which is a little bit more behind than the watermelon. But there we go. Lots of flowers. Probably a bit early to sort of develop any fruit. Just like the watermelon, it would develop these little tiny watermelons, and then they would fall off. There's a tiny little one here, and then they'd go black. Although this one, that's the biggest one I've seen so far, so maybe we'll get one here. And then I generally will wrap it up, any of these ones that are sort of hanging down. This one here, I'll somehow bring back through here so it goes up. Here's one that looks as though it might be dying, see? Just here. There's a little one there. But they like the heat and they love water, so got to keep the water up to that. And of course I was talking about the strawberries and the fruit fly. We'll go over, I showed you all the onions. I'll just quickly show you. So what I'm doing with the blueberries, they're not doing too well down here. Some of you are aware there's actually one there, believe it or not, one there, and one a bit further. I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to put them into a raised garden bed, which is that one over there. I'm going to put them in there with a potting mix. I'll show you where the pH level is more suited to blueberries. As you can see, its acidic pH level is 4.8 to 5.8. Where generally, when you're growing all your veggies and fruit trees and just about everything else, you want about 6 to 7, roughly. Alright, that's the blue java. I'm not too sure whether I've actually done a video on the blue java. That's the blue java sitting right here, and it is loving it here. It's growing quick, and you can see all the beautiful green waste feeding it. That's all the broccoli, the purple broccoli that didn't do anything, which took up all this room here. I'll show you. Took up that entire area there, and then there was, I think, a couple random ones, and they were probably from the garden bed, probably almost a metre tall and producing no fruit. Yet these ones here were put in about 3 weeks after and already harvesting. That's the blue Java. Some volunteer tomatoes which I just let go, and we'll get some tomatoes off them soon. We move over to the red cherry guava. They've already flowered, you can see here, and some little fruitlets developing. Might get some few fruit off there. The Groomy Chama, which hasn't really done much, there's been a little bit of new growth. Not expecting any fruit off these for another maybe year or two, to be honest. And then we move along to the Panama berry, which again is now almost, if not taller than the bananas, and literally hundreds and hundreds of flowers. The bees love them, the hover bees love them. I've actually seen the occasional stingless native, but you can see all the fruit. You've got the flowers, fruit developing. Another bee there, look at the bee with the pollen all over him. Another nice big bit of fruit. There's literally going to be, no, I was going to say thousands, but hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little Panama berries on here in the next few weeks. And we'll be doing this for most of the year. It's got to beat all the birds. But if I come in here, you can actually see fruit everywhere. It's a shame there's not a ripe one. I'd love to take one and do a taste test. I can see hundreds of them. But I am going to have to rip the top off that, I think. I'll probably reduce this by half. I know it sounds a lot, but that's still going to be a 3-metre tree all the way up there. And again, I didn't film it, but we harvested our first bunch of bananas, just growing here. That'll be the next one. They're going to be ready, I reckon, in about 2 weeks, I reckon. And then we're going to move over to the bunch over here. And then we've got another one over there in the distance there. And then I'll choose 3 of these to stay. Because remember, every time that produces fruit and I cut it off, this is essentially dead. We cut it down, feed it back to the bananas, and then you keep the new ones. And of course, these are all going to be cut down within the next couple of months. So I'm going to keep probably 1, 2, and probably this bigger one out the back here, because they're going to be harder to get out, and I'll have to come in and divide that, which I have done recently, but that's probably about 5 weeks of growing. I couldn't believe it. Mango, a lot of you are aware that I've thinned this out. These are the fruit fly traps that I was talking about. For some reason there's one on the bottom. So you're supposed to go inside, mate. But as you can see, it's working. It's got like a pheromone in there, like a wick with a pheromone, and they go in and they die. I've got 2 of them, one on there and one just there. I'm going to get more, and what I'll do is take them a little bit further away from the strawberries and the fruit and vegetables, because when the tomatoes are ripening, they're gonna want them as well. All right, let's move down the side here. We've got the miracle berry. That should be very close to coming into flower. We got fruit off this last season, but again, slow growing even in the tropics, subtropics. Oh. And then we move along to the star fruit, which is really starting to take off now. I need to stake this up. It's all growing one-sided. I have to bring that up so it doesn't break over in the wind, but you can see all the new growth here. Just, yeah, it's loving this position. And then underneath is a white Jabadicaba in this pot, which I haven't got a spot for yet. Banana, that's a division from these. I did have a lot more, but I give them away. And when I divide them, I'll give them away as well. And then moving along, we have the black zapote, which is again doing really well. And again, I need to stake this as well. It's getting a bit flimsy as well now. Had a little bit of growth. You can see all this branch here is all new growth. Doing really well. I've actually seen a black zapote while I've been working. It's only about a 2 metre high black zapote, but it's got fruit on it that are probably the size of a cantaloupe. It is amazing how big it is. Alright, let's move along. We've got a weed. And then we move along here and we have the Jabadicaba doing really well here. It doesn't get much sun in here. And the later in the season, it's going to get less because the sun is going to be directly over this tree. And then it goes in behind here. But it's had a fair bit of growth. Star apple. Hasn't grown much, but it is still sending out some new growth. I think there might be a little bit of scale on here. I'm not too sure. Yeah, look. Yeah, we're gonna have to get onto that. There's got some pests on that. I've only just noticed that now, so we're going to move along to the next Jabadicaba, which is this is just a seedling Jabadicaba, just a standard one. Again, not much, maybe a little bit more. But we'll see how we go. We might remove these at a later date when I've done a bit more clearing in the property. Maybe even put some out the front. And then we've got this is a red Dakar. This was given to me by my neighbour. This is one of his pups. There was not many roots on this at all, but I've given it a go and there is a little bit of new leaf coming out of here, so that's good to see. The Cavendish, again you can see all the green waste that I use to feed my bananas. They absolutely love it. That's doing really well. And then we move along to the I think I'm going to say this is a ladyfinger. This was originally over there when we moved in, but I'm sure it's a division from that one, but I don't know for sure, so we'll have to wait and see if that's the same variety. If any of you remember, we had the custard apple here, which used to tower up into all these trees here. It was reaching over to there, it was touching this. It was all up really high. And very, very lanky. So I've literally cut it back to a stump, and this is the new growth just this season. There we go. And I'll take these bottom ones out. Alright, let's move along to this garden bed. You can see I've done a lot of mulching. We had a lot of trees taken out and I had the whole lot mulched. I'm slowly spreading it around the garden. Here we have the Choquette variety avocado. Not looking good. It's not looking good. It's literally dropped all its leaves except for those last two here, but it's getting a lot of new growth. And for those that are growing avocados, don't panic when it does this. Avocados, in some cases, will drop all their leaves. My Hass avocado back in Melbourne 1 year dropped every single leaf and it was left with the flowers. And it all came back with beautiful new healthy growth. But don't panic. As long as it's green and you got some buds on it, I don't think you'd have any problems with it. Choquette, but it scares you. This variety here, which is again another one that's decided to just grow one side, it's done a lot of growth. This is the post office. The choquette and the post office both produce humongous avocados. 1.5 kilo to 2 kilo avocados at their biggest. So I'm really excited about these two. Both A-type varieties. There it is, the post office. And if you're wondering why it's called the post office, it was a seedling avocado that grew next to a post office in South Africa. So excited, very excited. Here, again, not looking too good. I'm hoping now I've mulched and it keeps the moisture in. This will start to improve. That's the jackfruit, and it's sort of got two coming out of the ground here. I think that was two from the one seed. So, but it's really done nothing since I've put it in here. So hopefully this mulch will help it. Oh no, I can't remember. Abu, maybe? I can't remember. It's just starting now to get a lot of new growth. Or maybe the canistel, I can't remember. Someone might be able to recognise the leaves and tell me. And it's getting a lot of new growth, beautiful new growth, so I'm glad now. And I've pinned it up because it was it was just a bit spindly, this one. And then we come over to the fuerte, and the fuerte is starting to get some new growth as well. This didn't move for a long time. And this is a B-type, so this is going to help pollinate the A-type varieties that are over this side of the property. And I was growing a fuerte in Melbourne, and also the bacon and the Hass variety. And I have two B-types, but we'll get to that. Now let's move along to another heavily mulched garden, which is, yep, look at that, it's beautiful and moist in here. And you can see the mycelium growing in there. I've also discovered cane toads love living in the mulch where it's nice and warm. But let's get back to this. We have a jackfruit seedling here, which is doing really well now. Again, I don't know whether it's normal, but it kind of looks like leaf curl, but then they end up improving to a leaf that sort of more looks like this. But yeah, lots of new growth. This should start really starting to pick up some growth speed now, because the jackfruit is actually quite a quick growing fruit, or tree I should say. Let's move along here to where the pool is, because in here we've got branches falling down off trees. This is where I've put the passion fruit now. I can't remember which one it was, whether it was the yellow or the red Panama. I'm hoping it's the red, but it has taken off, and I'm going to grow it along this part of the pool fence here, not too far that way. How do you like my landscaping? This is just mocked up yet, they're not in the ground yet. And all that part is here. This is all going to be turf, dead level with the pool level. And then nice big raised garden bed in here. Anyway, back to the fruit, back to the food. So, passion fruit. And then we move along here to the avocado that's grown the quickest. And this is the Pinkerton, which is an A-type variety. But not only has it grown the quickest, it's actually produced one avocado. This was purchased from Daly's Fruit Tree Nursery, and it was put in the ground pretty much straight away. It's not even a year old, and I've got one beautiful avocado But not only that, it flowered twice. I wish I'd made a video when these were flowering because it looked amazing. These are the last of the flowers now. They pretty much all died off, but there's a little fruitlet there and a little fruitlet there. The cross fingers, and there's actually a little one there as well. Cross fingers, we might get a couple more. I'll have to prop them up. We'll see how that goes. So that's exciting. Very exciting. Now, I think I'll head down to this way and we'll go to this next garden bed, which I haven't mulched yet. Well, it's been mulched when I first moved in, but I'm going to mulch all this again. We've got the pineapple here, which is the oldest one I've put in, which is doing really well. That hasn't been in for a year yet. I'd probably say about 6 months. We have another one over there, and then there's some random ones scattered around somewhere else as well. Oh man, I've forgotten. I have forgotten. Here we go, Ah-Cha-Cha. There's a label right there. I'm going to get some labels marked up so I don't forget them. Ah-Cha-Cha, which, I mean, it's doing alright. It hasn't had any new growth yet though. So, we'll see how that one goes. There's the other pineapple there. We move along to the lychee, which is already flowered. As you can see, that's an old flower stem there. There are a couple of little fruitlets, but I'm not expecting them to stay on. And that's a Murcott, or a air layered variety, which is a cutting off a mature tree. We move along here, we've got the grafted mango here. I can't remember the variety because the tag's all faded, but I will have a look and make up a label so I don't forget again. But this has had some really good growth on it. In fact, it actually tried to flower on here, but you get the jacaranda dropping its flowers, as you can see. Jacaranda. We get a blue carpet down here this time of year. Looks beautiful. But they suck the water out of the ground. So it's doing really well. We got another pineapple down here. And then we move along to the dragon fruit. There's one growing up this side, but the main one's around here, doing really well. Some beautiful, beautiful red variety dragon fruit. They are beautiful. And I've just tipped it. I've just tipped a heap to see if I can get it to flower early in the season. We'll see how that one goes. Oh, and the other variety of mango here, another grafted variety here. Hopefully this will start getting some, because this has grown already. Hoping to get some new growth, new branches coming out of there. It looks as though there might be 3, 1, 2, 3 ready to pop out. Could even flower, late flowering. And then we have another pineapple here. We have this is called the Queen of the Night, already has produced some flowers. And if you look, I'll take you back around here. It's already thrown out a couple of flowers here. They look pretty spectacular, similar to a dragon fruit flower. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I went straight past this. This is the Relinia seedling that was given to me as well. Getting a lot of new growth, lots and lots of new growth off this. All right, we overheated again. It did last longer, so changing the settings did work. I think I got about 25 minutes that time, not 8 or 10. But again, this could be a long video. So where were we? We were over at the Relinia, which was given to me, the seedling, which is doing really well. Really happy with that. So we've covered this garden bed, so we'll go over to this garden bed. This has changed a lot since we first got here. I pruned these 2 Relinia, so there's 3 Relinia in total. I've given these a good prune and they've come back really well with lots of new growth. But not only that, this one here has actually produced 2 little flowers. Again, not expecting them to eventuate into anything, but it was pretty exciting getting a fruit tree. In fact, there's 3 there, and having its flowers develop. Again, heavily mulched, but in this case I have purchased some pinto peanut. Now, it's not a peanut that's going to produce the peanuts for me. It's literally a ground cover, nitrogen fixing, living mulch. That's what this is. And even starting to flower now is they get these beautiful yellow flowers, and then they'll just start to spread, and I'll get this nice ground cover, and I won't have to mulch here again, because this will pretty much do it for me. And you can literally rip a piece off, fold it up, chuck it in the ground, and grow yourself another one. There's one here, one here, one there, a little one there which doesn't seem to be doing that well, and another one there, and then we've got another pineapple here and another pineapple here. They're relatively new, those ones. We've got a pineapple farm up the road, literally about 5 k's I reckon, and he sells pineapples out of the back of a tractor, and then there's a crate where you can rip the heads off and chuck them in the crate, and that's where some of these are from. We've got the soursop here, which again isn't much growth. I think it's thickened up a bit, but we haven't had any new growth off this, but it's stayed in a relatively good condition. I have pruned some of the lower branches and some of these ones. There were some spindly ones that were dead, so I pruned them off. So hopefully we'll get some growth coming out of this soon. And then we got the other mango here. So last season this had 1 mango on it. To me it looked as though it had been pruned very heavily, maybe the year before we moved in. You can see that. And it was the new growth. It didn't produce many flowers, although this year you can see we've got some little mangoes forming, little bit bigger mangoes. I don't know what variety this one is. The one up the top is I would say the Kensington Pride. This could be a different variety. Since we've cut these trees down, we've got a lot more light coming down to this part of the garden now, because in the afternoon, see the sun's directly above us now. In the afternoon, nothing was getting sunlight down here, because we had another 4 palms in front of those ones along the side of the house, all here. The jacaranda, which took up all that. There were palm trees along the fence line there, but on the other side of the shed, all producing shade. And it looks like we're going to be getting another big storm by the looks of it, brewing up over there in the distance. So they forecast 29 today. The wind's just picked up, but possible showers and thunderstorms. And got Aussie rolling around in the grass, loves it. So yeah, we're getting a few more mango off this. We've got the lorikeets up there eating, they produce a little sugar that comes out of the leaf, out of these gum trees. I think they eat it. Move along to the jackfruit. This is the Galaxy, I think. I better double check, just in case. Yep, the Galaxy. This was looking really sick. Again, I pruned it, and we're just starting to see a lot more new growth coming out of this now. I can't wait until I get my first jackfruit fruit. Never tasted it before, but someone, I can't remember who it was on YouTube, grew a Galaxy, and he said the fruit was delicious on this one, so I'm excited about that one. But that one's just a seedling, and I'm not too sure what the variety is. There we go. We're going to move over to, I forgot to show you all the bananas down the bottom here. All starting to really start to put out some growth now. These were all divisions from the ones out the front with the bananas on them. And again, heavily mulched them just to retain that water, because I'd probably put more than this, because we're going to get possibly months without any rain soon. And some more volunteer tomatoes already getting some little fruit. These are little cherry type tomatoes, but they just come up everywhere now. That's not a bad thing. I just let them go. And I've got to get some weeding done here because they're getting really bad. Then we've got the other banana up here. Just looking a bit sorry for itself, but it'll do. Ice cream bean. Really done nothing since I've put it in. I'm hoping soon we're going to get some new growth coming in. In fact, there might be some new growth just starting to poke out of that now. But yeah, I really want this to start taking off. In fact, another place I go to for work has a massive ice cream bean tree growing on the nature strip. It's huge. It's in full flower at the moment, and it's still got some nice beans on it. But you can see the birds break the shell, and then they eat all the pulp out of it. You can see all holes through them all. I might take a few photos of it next time I'm around that area, and I'll put it on Instagram. Still lots of mulch left. The white Shatut mulberry, already harvested the 3 mulberry that were on there. Yes, that's all. Again, this mulberry was twice the height. I literally cut the top off it, and we got this new growth here. I might even prune it again. Prune these branches and see how we go, see if we can get some more mulberries off it. The dragon fruit that was growing up this tree I pulled down, and it's just lying on the ground here with all this new growth coming out of it. You can't kill them. Can't kill them. I think this might be the canistel. There is a label somewhere, but I've lost it. It was in here somewhere, but I've got to put all mulch over the top of it. That's starting to get a few new branches coming out of it, but again, very slow, very slow. And we move around here, and we've got the Champa Jack. So that's a cross between the jackfruit and the Champa Dac. And that's just starting to push out some new growth. So I'm excited about that one too. So it's, as the little tiny seedling it's gone through the whole winter, and now we're entering, well, I was going to say summer. I'm used to Melbourne, and the weather in Melbourne is not quite like this. So really happy about that. And if we move over to this side, we've got 2 more avocados here. This one here is the bacon. Now it's done its flowering, and it had more flowers than any other varieties. And like I said, I think in my last video maybe, that is going to produce a heap of flowers. The bacon always does, and that's the B type, and that's to pollinate, or not pollinate, to help pollinate the A type varieties. This one didn't hold on to any fruit. The one in Melbourne did. The bacon produced fruit 1 year in the ground. Guava, and that is just starting to push out some flower buds now. I don't know what guava this is. I think it's a Hawaiian type. It's got a white flesh. Not actually fond of it. So I think eventually that'll come out. Another volunteer tomato there, another one there. Broadleaf papaya. Doing really well, as you can see. Some fruit growing there now. And we move along to the lamb hass. Now the lamb hass, we have a couple of little fruitlets here, and hopefully they'll stay on, because that would be great if we got a lamb hass. Lamb hass is the same as the hass, except it's a dwarf variety. It'll actually produce larger fruit though. Move over to the dragon fruit. These are all different varieties of dragon fruit in here. That's the Isis Gold. I'm not going to remember them all because the names have come off it. That's the Delight, that one there. This one here is the Dark Star. That's grown crazy, look at that. Through here, around here, all put in the ground at the same time. Sorry, that's the Dark Star at the back here. This is the King Hybrid, I think. I don't know, but it's gone crazy. It's almost at the top of this. Same with this one here. This is the Dark Star here. I've just tipped that one to try and get some growth to go over this now, and I'll do the same to that once that gets a little bit higher. And then we've got another one here. It's quite a thin type. This is the Frankie's Red, and then this is just a division off, a cutting off one of mine, which I'll cut this one off and then try and get that to go up this side here. Eventually I'll get some proper trellis for these to grow up. There we go. So they're doing well. Hopefully we'll get some fruit off some of these this year. Alright, let's move along to we've got some pears and apples here. And these are a bit behind because all these trees that were supposed to get cut down were supposed to be cut down months ago, but the guy injured himself, he couldn't do it, so he had to get a different person to come in to do it. So they didn't get the sunlight that I was expecting them to get when I put them in the ground. But we've got this is oh, here we go. This is the Asian pear. You can see not much growth at all off this, just that little bit there. But now we're getting some more light through here. Hopefully they'll catch up next year. The Bonza pear, or the Nashi, getting a bit of growth out of that now. And then we've got the Dorset, the golden Dorset apple, which is really starting to put out some new growth now. And same with the Tropic Sweet, another one that's really started to take off now. There we go. Hopefully we'll get some fruit off it next year. That would be good. And then I've still got to get some nectarines, cherries, plums. I'm going to move over to this messy area over here. I've just been chucking a bit of the green waste here. Eventually all that is going to be mulched with a heap of this. I have added another citrus now. We've got the Cara Cara. Hang on, I better check if it's the Cara Cara. Yes, the Cara Cara orange here, which is a bit lopsided. I'll probably end up just pruning that one off, to be honest. And then the trellis I made here, it's going to have 3 levels of wire. I've only got 2 at the moment, but I'm going to put another one in the middle. And then we've got 2 different varieties of grapes here. This one here being the Flame Seedless, which is the red grape. And then we come over to this one here, and we have the Autumn Royale Seedless Black Grape. So yeah, super excited about that one. And then I've purchased the Honey Murcot Mandarin, which is flowered. It's got some little fruitlets on it. I expect them all to fall off. And then we'll go out the front here, and we've got the other citrus collection. This is the orange, That's the pineapple orange, which is a dwarf variety. It's got some fruit. I've also noticed it's actually dropped some of them as well, and flowering again. And then we move along to the pomelo, which is the Thai sun. That's really growing really quickly. Hasn't flowered at all, but it is growing at a rapid pace compared to all the other citrus stuff I've got. Next is a mandarin here. This is flowered, had little fruitlets, dropped them all off. And that's the imperial mandarin. And then I've got another pomelo, that's a Nam Roy, that one. I think I have to feed it with something, it's just not looking as good. Yellow and not much growth. So there is another variety of pomelo that I want to get. It's another Thai variety, but it is also the variety that has the largest fruit out of all of the pomelos, and it's they reckon they grow to the size of like almost a basketball. That's crazy, absolutely crazy. So there we have it. That is my garden tour for October. I'll see how we go with the time for this video. If it's a bit too long, I might break it into two, and but we'll see how we go. I don't think I've missed anything. Oh, there's one thing I did miss, which was this other custard apple here, which I again pruned right back, and I'll try and train it into a more manageable tree. Probably should have cut it down a bit lower, to be honest, but we'll see how this goes. Over time I'm going to get this area cleared out as well, so I can get some more fruit trees down this way. There are things like a sapodilla that I want. Oh, here we go. Here's the lady of the Queen of the Night here, growing these beautiful. Have a look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. There is actually a dragon fruit here as well, but it sort of looks after itself here. Yeah, so there's a lot more fruit trees I want to get. A couple more mango varieties. Maybe another jackfruit variety. Maybe well, there's a few more avocado varieties I wouldn't mind getting. A lot more rarer variety than these ones you see here. We'll go back around to the veggies, and then we'll probably call that a wrap up, I think, because I think I've pretty much covered everything. I don't know whether I showed you any of the mangoes on this one. If I didn't, some bigger ones on here up the top there. This one flowered first. Some nice big ones up the top there. Hopefully the camera will see all this. Nice one there. So that's it. Fraser Coast Food Forest Garden Tour October edition, maybe in 2 parts. Done and dusted. But don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Don't forget to give us a nice thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care everyone, bye.